Teacher Talking Sports with those would do how we live. And I've mentioned on a few occasions that arguably my favorite writer, at least when it comes to NFL, is Bill Barnwell of ESPN. His articles are often fairly lengthy, but very awesome reads. And today he came out with his annual list for playmaker rankings time. He takes the all 32 NFL teams and he ranks them by their wide receiver, tight end, and running back group. So this is independent of the quarterback, offensive line, play caller, just looking at those sets of groups, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and stating, how they would rank if they had average quarterback, average O-line, average play caller. Few things he mentions. It's only about 2025 on-field performance. Injury histories and suspensions matter. Wide receivers are weighed more heavily than running backs or tight ends, and he mentions, how the high end of wide receivers get paid a fairly amount more than running backs and tight ends. Even the average wide receivers are making, like $20 million a year. Focus is on elite players and a team's top 5 contributors. So let's take a look. I figured I would show the bottom 5 teams he listed and then the top 5. So we'll start with the teams at the rear. So coming in last is the Tennessee Titans. Of course, they will have number 1 overall pick Cam Ward as their quarterback, Tony Pollard as their number 1 running back, along with Tyjae Spears. Signed Tyler Lockett to a free agent deal after the Seahawks let go of him. He's definitely past his prime. Calvin Ridley kind of had an outlier year. I don't know, what was it, 3-4 years ago? Hasn't quite reached those heights. What's Okonkwo? I always thought he was going to be a above average starting tight end. Just really hasn't been able to do so since joining the NFL, or at least the past few years. So Titans last, Panthers 31st, and everyone thought they were going to go defense with their first pick. Instead, they took McMillan out of Arizona, wide receiver. Still have the ageless Adam Thielen, Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette really didn't do much last year to show that he could be a future, Pro Bowl level player. Chuba Hubbard, though, what a season he had. Jonathan Brooks is going to miss the year again. And bringing in Rico Dowdle was a pretty solid move. He was kind of under the radar, which hard to do with Dallas, but had a very solid season. New England Patriots 30th. Of course, they have Stephon Diggs. What Diggs will they be getting? He tore his ACL last year. Past 30 years old. He's not going to be the player we saw team up with Josh Allen for so long. After that, can Kyle Williams really perform well as a rookie? Jalen Polk really struggled as a rookie. Ramondre Stevenson, fumble issues. Travion Henderson, I am actually expecting to be more of the lead back for them. Cleveland Browns 29th. Shout out Jerry Jeudy. He did awesome for my fantasy team to end the year. But after that, who's their number 2? Cedric Tillman. Deontay Johnson, you really can't count on him for anything at this point. David Njoku was expected to take another step forward after a strong ending in 2023. Just did not happen. And, of course, the era of Nick Chubb is finally over. Jerome Ford and Quinshon Judkins also drafted Dylan Sampson. 28th, the Buffalo Bills, and that might surprise people because they have one of the best offensives, at least scoring-wise. James Cook was a touchdown machine last year. But Khalil Shakir is a very solid wide receiver, probably in the bottom. If you listed all the top receivers for each team, he'd be somewhere near the bottom, but he's still a very solid player. After that, Keon Coleman didn't do much in his rookie year. Joshua Palmer, can he finally break out? Dalton Kincaid has been about a average starting tight end since joining the league. So those are his bottom 5. The top 5. Los Angeles Rams coming in at fifth. Of course, no longer have Cooper Kupp, but in my opinion, at this point, replaced him with a better wide receiver in Devontae Adams. Of course, had Puka Nacua, who had a phenomenal year last year despite missing bit of time. Kyron Williams has been a touchdown machine really for the Rams. Tight end, that's iffy. Tyler Higbee is getting up there in age, and they drafted Terrence Ferguson in the second round. Hard to expect much from rookie tight ends unless your name's Brock Bowers or Sam Laporta the year before that. But the team that was number one each of the last 2 years has slipped to fourth. That is the San Francisco 49ers. And to me, that's a little too high because you're saying injuries matter. Christian McCaffrey, yes, one of the most dynamic running backs we've seen, but definitely an injury risk nearly every season. Brandon Ayuk coming back from a torn ACL. Of course, Kittle is one of the best tight ends, but they traded Deebo Samuel, who admittedly hasn't had that, 2021 season when he was first team All-Pro. And Juwan Jennings did have a solid season, but to me, fourth's too high. Third, the Bengals, of course, maybe the best wide receiver duo in the NFL, although number one has a case as well. But I'd probably, maybe you go with the Bengals over them with Higgins and Jamar Chase. Of course, T. Higgins has had his injury issues as well, but when he's on the field, he definitely produces. Chase Brown really had a strong ending to the season at running back. Meanwhile, Mike Gesicki, a tight end by name, but is he really a tight end? Number two, the Detroit Lions. I think I would have them number one, and I get it. They lost their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, to the Chicago Bears. He's their new head coach. In comes John Morton as the offensive coordinator, but a double-headed running back, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Number one, can't really say that, although Saquon probably clears every running back. Jamison Williams really became a deep threat last year. Ross St. Brown is that possession receiver, but there's really none better than him. Just a guy, Ross St. Brown, who's going to catch 100-plus passes per season. And Sam Laporta, who got off to a slow start compared to his rookie year, ended strong. And number one, as I mentioned, the Eagles. I think I'd have them too. I've read articles on how 2,000-yard running backs really never come close to duplicating that the following year. And not saying that guarantees Saquon Barkley will fall off, but it's something to think about. Dallas Goedert is still had another very good season, but he's getting up there in age as well. Smith and A.J. Brown, maybe slightly better than the top two Lions wide receivers. The Lions throw the ball more, thus the receivers are going to have better numbers. But backup running back, as I mentioned, David Montgomery clears anyone on the Eagles. Will Shipley, both teams, Khalif Raymond, Jahan Dotson, not great third wide receivers. But what are your thoughts on Bill Barnwell's list? Do you agree Eagles number one? Do you agree with the Titans at 26? I will name 6 through 27 really quick. So we got 6th, the Vikings, 7th, Buccaneers, 8th, Ravens, 9th, Falcons, 10th, Dolphins, 11th, Cowboys, 12th, Chiefs, 13th, Commanders, 14th, Texans, 15th, Cardinals. I think they're a little low. 16th, Colts, 17th, Packers, 18th, Jaguars, 19th, Seahawks, 20th, Raiders, 21st, Steelers, 22nd, Chargers, 23rd, Broncos, 24th, Saints, 25th, Bears, 26th, Giants, 27th, Jets. I mean, man, who would have thought that a year ago when you got Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson? Wilson's still awesome. Breece Hall did lose a little bit of his luster last year. But yeah, what teams are too high? What teams are too low? Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.